Looks like at least a few Republicans are, I don't know, connecting the obvious dots on this one and really wanting Pelosi to put those intelligence assets that she had set aside for that very necessary 3rd, 4th, 5th, January 6th Capitol Hill insurrection investigation, put it to good work and send those motherfuckers over to that cocksucking Wuhan Virology Lab to figure out if that found its way out of the lab proximity and we got the China virus due to those 3 people, those 3 lab technicians that fell fairly ill, weirdly, at least symptomatically, fairly similarly to those who have contracted the China virus, which yeah, there's no point in not calling it that at this point because you have those different variants around the world, okay? What, you got the UK variant, so it's not racist to call it UK. Oh, okay, it's like an 80% white country. Okay, fair enough. The Brazil variant? The Japanese variant? The Indian variant? Yeah, okay, it's starting to lose a lot of steam by just referring to it as the coronavirus, which is a designation. That would be like calling every dog a dog without identifying a Rottweiler from a Dachshund. So yeah, there's some shit to be finding out about the Chinese flu. At least 200 Republicans think so. Hold the CCP accountable. Somebody's got to. Unfortunately, it's not the Democrats, and it'll probably fall on deaf ears because you remember, nobody on the right side right now holds any institutional power. And if they do, well, guess what they do? They just decide to eat their own, like Kevin McCarthy and Mitch McConnell. That's all they do. And the de facto leader of the GOP right now is still trying to futz about and, I don't know, solder his own cables to set up his own social media platform. I don't know what's going on over there, but whatever. This is what's going on right now. More than 200 House Republicans are putting pressure on their Democrat counterparts to get down on the Chinese flu origin and hold the Chinese Communist Party accountable for the pandemic cover-up. We request that you instruct the appropriate Democratic committee chairs to immediately join Republican calls to hold the Chinese Communist Party accountable for its role in causing the Chinese flu pandemic, stated in a May 28th letter to Nancy Pelosi. And that letter, I'm sure, made a wonderful coaster for vodka and Coke. The effort was led by House Minority Leader Kevin McCarthy, Minority Whip Steve Scalise, yay, and Representative Elise Stefanik, The chair of the House Republican Conference has joined by 209 other Republicans. The lawmakers said Pelosi had falsely claimed that questions about the CCP's liability were a diversion, likely referring to Pelosi's remarks from last May describing then-President Donald Trump's blame on China as an interesting diversion. Kind of like the same thing where back when Trump passed the tax cuts and everybody ended up, benefiting from that, as much as mainstream media likes to tell you that nobody really did. She would call that tax cut, it's just crumbs, but then all of a sudden a $1,400 handout, in what was supposed to be $2,000 for the stimulus payments. Yeah, that would be significant. Yeah, that same lady. God, she has a really interesting grasp on reality. There is mounting evidence the pandemic started in a Chinese lab and the CCP covered it up. If that is the case, the CCP is responsible for the deaths of almost 600,000 Americans and millions more worldwide, they stated in the letter. I like that they're at least addressing specific people in this one, not saying, we need to get to the bottom of this. I don't know where we should start looking. Please don't call us racists. Every American family has lost someone, deserves answers about the origins of this terrible virus. They continued, adding that House Democrats' ongoing refusal to allocate investigation resources to get those answers is an affront to them. China can't get away with this. Americans deserve answers, Scalise wrote in the May 28th tweet. So we'll see where this goes, because as much as I like the initiative of these 210 Republicans in the House, you got the U.S. Health and Human Services Secretary Xavier Becerra. I don't know. He's probably picked because of his eccentric name. While not mentioning China or Wuhan directly, has called for the World Health Organization, to launch a transparent, science-based Phase 2 COVID origin study to fully assess the source of the virus in the early days of the outbreak. Well, we all know where the fuck it happened, okay? Party line, wet market. Actual line, what looks like it's a lot more obvious? Certain lab somewhere. To hold the CCP accountable, the lawmakers said they need to access a full range of tools available to congressional investigators, including subpoenas for documents and the power to compel key witnesses to give testimony. Today, Democratic committee chairs throughout the House are refusing to allocate the resources for questioning about the origins of COVID-19 virus, the letter stated. They also pointed to Beijing's consistent refusal to share raw data with the WIV lab records, which they said fit into the CCP's pattern of deception that includes expelling journalists to COVID-19 disinformation and silencing of whistleblowers. Yes, like that one journalist. Oh my gosh, that was a few months ago we covered that one. And yeah, she got thrown into jail and she was, what's the nicest way to put tortured? Physically coerced in order to denounce her previous reporting. She didn't end up taking back anything that she said, but she was aggressively lobbied to do so, because that's what communists do. Like, what else do you expect? Well, the WHO-led mission in Wuhan ruled the lab accident theory as extremely unlikely. Experts and world leaders alike have criticized the findings for lacking independence, like Trump said back in last May, when he said that he had credible evidence, and he didn't have credible evidence. He had seen credible reports that said that this was a very likely theory, but everybody immediately just called him just a crazy person, and nobody should take Orange Man seriously. On Tuesday, a Chinese representative told the WHO's assembly that China part and the origin tracing has been completed and suggested investigators look elsewhere. Of course, a Chinese representative said don't look in China. Very cute. Biden, in a rare statement on Wednesday, said that he had ordered an intelligence inquiry regarding the virus's origins and expected a report within 90 days that will be summarily shredded and nobody will ever get to see. But who knows? I would love to see. You guys know this already. Past couple of videos, I've been calling for this too. Do something official like this. You have the resources, okay? You have everything available at your fingertips. Do something productive with it instead of just trying to cry over January 6th semantics. But Pelosi's also going to have to, after the long weekend, of course, because, oh God, I'm sure it's lovely in San Francisco this time of year. She's going to have to answer for some stuff on Tuesday morning because the Freedom Caucus, led by Andy Biggs, who is a fucking pisser, just a great guy in the House, comes from Arizona. It must be a thread that's consistent through Arizona, unless you're the governor. He's making a formal request that mask mandate in the House. Yeah, we should probably fucking get rid of that one. He's asking specifically if Pelosi consulted scientists on the continued House mask mandate. Yes, keep holding them to their own standards, right? This is the party of science. We follow the science. Okay, did you consult with those scientists, those same ones that you keep citing over and over again to impose your fucking mandates? Or is this just all a work of fiction? Huh? Is it just trying to be an authoritarian? Because that's what it fucking seems like. Freedom Caucus Chairman Andy Biggs sent a letter to Rochelle Walensky, the director of the Center of Disease Control and Prevention, Thursday, asking if House Speaker Nancy Pelosi consulted with any of the CDC scientists on continuing the mask mandate in the House of Representatives. Biggs, in his letter, asked the CDC director a simple question: did anyone from the CDC consult with Pelosi or the Office of Attending Physicians before the announcement was made to extend the mask mandate and social distancing protocols on the House floor? The Freedom Caucus chair highlighted in his letter to the CDC announced new guidelines for vaccinated individuals the day before Pelosi announced she would continue the mask mandate. Biggs said the CDC announced fully vaccinated individuals can participate in indoor and outdoor activities without wearing masks or physically distancing. That is the going rate, and that one hasn't been walked back yet at all whatsoever, except for by that blowhard Anthony Fauci saying, I don't know, there's conflicting reports as to it. You know, you should probably just be scared and wear 45 masks. If you can't breathe, that's good. No droplets will be coming out of your mouth, okay? Fuck off. Biggs said the CDC announced fully. Biggs even added, Walensky, in her own words, said, if you are fully vaccinated, you are protected, and you can start doing things that you stopped doing because of the pandemic, the Republican added during a hearing in the House Appropriations Subcommittee on Wednesday. Walensky refused to answer a Representative Andy Harris, a Republican from Maryland? What the fuck? Question whether the Speaker or the attending physician of the House consulted with you or anyone else at the CDC before she extended COVID-19 protocols on the House floor. Fox News reported Pelosi and the Capitol attending physician, Dr. Brian Monahan, have said the House mask requirement will remain unchanged until all House members are fully vaccinated. One Democrat consulted another, decided that more power and more authority is good, therefore mask mandates forever. So I don't know. Are they going to follow the science? Are they going to find the root cause and continue to follow the science, whatever lab it leads them to? Who knows? They're going to have a lot of questions to answer if they ever get back to them, or if they're just going to continue to try to get somebody else out front there and tell them to continue to circle back over and over again. Who knows? I don't expect a straight answer from these guys, mostly because they can't remember the answer that they're supposed to give, and they could just end up going off script, like Joe Biden not being totally creepy at all whatsoever, of course. And that's what we're going to be getting to next. So with that said, I thank you all very much for the gift of your time. I've been Don Consuelo. I want you to follow your gut and get after it. Take care, everyone.